Hey, this is Mr. George. Glad you're back with us. I wanted you to see a little bit about one of my favorite inventions. I came up with this invention about 6 or 7 years ago when I was working and doing a series of my hands-on science classes in some of the elementary schools. And I happened to keep seeing this sort of repeat pattern. And if you're an elementary school teacher, you know what I'm talking about. Teachers climbing. You would think you were at the zoo, climbing on top of tables, on top of counters, hanging from cabinets to try and reach the ceiling to hang things on their ceiling. Now, granted, there's a lot of things they like to hang from the ceiling. Elementary school teachers like to hang the kids' artwork, they like to hang mobiles, they like to hang all kinds of things that really brightens up the room and makes it look like an elementary school classroom is supposed to look. Well, one of the things that hit me was I was watching and I was in the process of teaching, and this other teacher was busy trying to put things up there and doing that little thing with a paper clip trying to bend it around the top, except she was standing on the edge of a counter stretching as far as she could stretch, and then when she got through she was ready to come down, and when she did she made a misstep and crashed into the side of a desk, and it gave her a pretty good bruise on her hip. Well, it hit me. There's got to be a better way, especially since I'm the super magnet man. I've got to come up with a way to use magnets and make this work. So here's what I did. I got with a little bit of prototyping, spent a little time playing with it, got my manufacturer to start making me some stuff, and it comes down to this simple little magnet ceiling hooks and the installer rod. Now these two work together. It's not really, I mean, you can use the ceiling hooks if you have a short, low enough ceiling. You can use the ceiling hooks without the installer rod. But what I wanted you to see is how this is intended to work together. Now, in my area I have very low ceilings and I can just reach up and plug it in. But most people have 8, 10, 12-foot ceilings. I made this with two rods that are made to just screw together. Okay? They're little plastic rods. This is not a heavy-duty apparatus. I'll show you what I use for heavy-duty installation stuff in a few minutes. And then the little tip screws on. Okay? Hey, I just adjusted the camera a little bit so you could see the ceiling at the same time as I'm doing this. What I've done is invented this little ceiling hook, and it goes in this installer rod. The installer rod is intended to work together with this. If you'll notice in the base of the hooks, you can see a little hole, and this installer rod rings through it. I put this second post on here to hang the hook straight. A lot of teachers told me that they like to hang things from this and then reach up and put it on the ceiling. So this allows them to hang it first and then it still hangs straight. Now all you have to do is reach up. It sticks to the suspended ceiling, usually a T-bar ceiling. You can twist, do whatever you want to with it, get it just right, and then pull the rod out and it stays. This will hold up 3 pounds. I'll show you in just a minute. What you want to then do, if you need to ever take this down or when you're ready to take it down and change things out, you just reach up, pull it down, and it comes right back down. Very easy, does not need a ladder. And I told you I'd show you about how strong it is. This is a 3-pound barbell weight, and we will just hang this from the ceiling. And as you can see, this hangs just fine. Now, not many occasions to hang 3 pounds from the ceiling, and you certainly wouldn't want to hang 20 of these rods with 3 pounds each on it because that may be too much weight for your ceiling. But in most cases, this works just fine. Now I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see the ceiling hook as it's installed, and I'll leave the installer rod hanging on. Now that you've seen how that works, the first thing that you might think about is, well, first is the same thing that a lot of my first teachers told me. They said, hey, what about me? My ceilings are 12, 15 feet high. How am I going to be able to reach it? And I said, well, there's a better way for that too. And so I made this installer cap. This installer cap has the same screw threads that made up with a painter pole. So it just screws right onto a painter's pole, and you can get these painter poles even in telescoping leaks up to like 21 feet long. And I've got some at my church that they have used those painter poles, and they can install in an area where they now used to have to wait and install with scaffolding. They would have to bring in a scaffolding crew to set that scaffolding up, and then they would get to go in and use it. Now they just just stand on the floor, and the lady, when she's ready, she reaches up, she changes the signage, and then she comes back down with it using the painter pole. So this works great. You can get the wooden handle ones. That will lift a good bit of weight. This also works if you're using the big banner hooks. I've got the larger variety of these hooks that holds up like 11 or 12 pounds easily from a suspended ceiling, and you can use those for things like banners and large, heavy signage and things that you really need. But for the most part, this will work. Now I'm going to show you about another kind of hook that I made, because other people said, well, we don't need to hang heavy things, but we still need some hooks. So what I came up with for them is what I call the mini hook. The little mini hook looks like this. It's a tiny little thing with a super magnet in the base of it, and this magnet works great. I use it all the time. You never know when you're an electrical engineer where you might need to run temporary cabling. So watch this. And as you know it, the electrical code boys don't like for us to call things temporary wiring for very long. So you have to be careful with your definition of temporary wiring. But from time to time, you need to run wiring somewhere, and doing it like this is a lot easier than trying to run it through overhead and punch holes or move your ceiling tiles. This is a very quick and easy way to do it. So that's an easy way to do it. I've seen school teachers take these little things and hang their Christmas lights around their doors, around their blackboards, around filing cabinets. They have just done some amazing things with this. And you can do the same thing in schools, elementary schools, daycares, churches. All of these kind of places just are great uses for these ceiling hooks and for the little mini hooks. And then I will show you in another video how to use these hooks to hang, how to use a different kind of hook that I've got to hang wreaths from pane glass windows or from large Bay Area windows without needing suction cups or glues or special kinds of assembly. You'll be glad to look back at that video. I'm just waiting till those come in so I can show you how they work. I've had them, but I've run completely out. They'll be in the next video. Thank you very much. Hope you're having a great day.